What is going on, everybody, man? You can feel it in the air, bro. Everyone is excited about One Piece. When you have Microsoft tweeting about the One Piece awesome sauce, when you have One Piece chapter 955 trending in multiple parts of the world, when you have Stampede being released in multiple parts of the world. Stampede apparently is going to be coming out in the United States on the 24th in sub, and the rumors are saying that on the 26th in dub. So no confirmation yet from any theaters, but that is the main rumor right now. So the Stampede hype is real. The chapter hype is real. We know why we're super excited about the most recent chapter, man. I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. And based on it trending and everyone and the discussions and just the overall excitement for what Act 3 and beyond is going to be in Wano, bro, this is going to be something way beyond anything we've ever seen in the series before. People have been comparing it to Marineford and that weekly experience that we had, but by God, man, what we're about to witness is the biggest and most incredible thing that we've experienced thus far. So many things can go down, and what's like really getting to all of us is the next chapter could literally be anything, man. Oda could hit us with anything next chapter and it would work. It would work, man. And if he's going to show us what took place in the Reverie, if he's finally going to show us that inciting incident at the beginning of the year they talked about in Jump Festa that was going to leak over into Wano, this is when he needs to do it. Or at least this is when I think he's going to do it. And it's exciting because, and the reason why I'm so excited now is because we know what happened after Act 1, man. I got to see one of my favorite characters in the series for the first time post-time skip. One of my most memorable moments of covering One Piece here on YouTube was chapter 925. So the fact that we're about to get another chapter like that next week, and it's coming out early again, is something that is just super exciting, man. I cannot wait for the next chapter. And then on top of that, you have Hungry Days Cup Noodle, my favorite thing ever, releasing another commercial. And this time for Nami, dude. I have rewatched that trailer so many times between yesterday and today. Such a magnificent trailer. It is so beautiful. If you have not watched it yet, I'm gonna just remind me, and I will leave a link in the comment section down below or in the description box. Y'all have to watch the latest Cup Noodle commercial for Nami, man. It is magnificent, bro. Magnificent. The cameos, the wonderful shots they had, how you can totally see this being the case if they were in that type of situation. The end of the commercial, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, man. Flipping cup noodles, dude. I can't believe that they have such magnificent animation, something that really invokes emotion out of you for cup noodles, bro. For cup noodles, you know what I'm saying? Man, we got cup noodles greatness. One Piece Power Warriors 4. We got about 13 minutes of gameplay coming from Tokyo Game Show. That was very interesting. Stampede. The hype for Stampede is real right now, man. The hype for Stampede, like I said, bro. It's something that it's just so many different things going down. And it's such a great time to be a fan of One Piece, man. And when it comes to the anime and the manga and all the things in between, it's what an amazing week it's been. And also, I can't wait to talk about your top 10 episode poll results, bro. Because I'll tell you what, man, there was a lot of episodes submitted. There was over 200 plus episodes submitted from One Piece's 900 up until when I stopped. I stopped calculating the results before 900 came out. So until that point in time, only 899 episodes have been released, and 200 plus different episodes were chosen. That alone speaks to the quality of this series, man. Normally, when doing like a poll like that, you expect to see a lot of the same episodes, so it won't go over like a significant amount. But I think the testament to One Piece's greatness comes to where there was over 200 plus episodes chosen, man. That just shows there was so many different episodes and so many different scenes that just hit people differently that they wanted to put that over something else. And that's incredible to me, man. But we'll be discussing your top 10 favorite One Piece episodes for sure later on in the thing. But I gotta start off this Recon piece with the Hungry Days Cup Noodle, man. I have to, bro. It's the Hungry Days, dog. Y'all know how I feel about this. Now, because I love that commercial so much, we're gonna watch it again. We're gonna watch it again here to start this off. And if you have not watched it yet, we're gonna watch this together, man. So please, go to YouTube and go to just search up One Piece Hungry Days, right? let's go on here. Oh, speaking of going back to this week as well, my boy Roggy sent me a video of, apparently, I believe Stampede premiered this weekend in France, and people were so hyped for the premiere of Stampede that they had opening one playing, and this entire place that looked to be sold out was singing the One Piece opening, bro. I was like, yo, I would love to be a part of a crowd like that, man. Let me be up in like somewhere singing the One Piece opening, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, go in search of One Piece Hungry Days, and then pick whichever one, I suppose. I'm going to be picking the one that's 30 seconds long from the Nissin Cup Noodle YouTube channel, whatever. And so let me make this full screen. Man, yeah, this commercial's so good, bro. Hungry Days Cup Noodle, Nami Edition. Rewatch number 1 billion. 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Bump of Chicken made a tune, bro. I can't wait to get the other versions of this draws, bro. Look at this. Look at Arlong, bro. Her wallpaper, her phone lock screen. Yo, even like without much analysis, just look at the cameos in this thing, man. Go back through it again, and right after Nami misses the bus, we see her in the classroom, and you see so many different characters, you know, ranging from like Kobe to Albedo. You even see Gaimon all the way in the background, Carrot. You see Porshemi. Like, it's insane, bro. Law, Smoker, and Toshigi, and the fact that Smoker and Toshigi had their things switched like in Punk Hazard, it's amazing, man. It's absolutely incredible. Just the small stuff. Koala. I mean, you know, just taking like one look, you see characters like Queen, Ivankov, and then like whenever you switch over here, you see Crocodile talking to Vivio and Squeeze, you see Kaku. Like, it's insane just the amount of detail that they put into these things, to where you could just take one glance and see so many different characters. So many different characters. I'm not gonna go through every single one, of course, but I find it to be fascinating just how many characters, or not only just how many characters, but the amount of detail put into these things, man. And like following that up, you see Side, maybe 5, you see Perona and Mihawk, and then in the background the Totalas, bro. It's nasty, man. Shiryu, and it's like, and then, bro, no, but this one right here, whenever it's Arlong with Nami, just you take one glance over this entire plate, bro, to start it off right here in front of them. The legends, bro. Shaki and Rayleigh right here, right in front of the screen. Right behind Nami and Arlong is the three OG admirals. The 3 OG admirals. In the far back, you have a character like Big Mom. On the left, you have Beige and Chiffon. Top left, you got the Vinsmokes. On the top, you have Shanks with Lucky Roo, bro, and Ben Beckman, dog. And you have Hero Look, bro. Like, man, what kind of a commercial is this, bro? And then you have Nami working for the Arlong Park restaurant with the members from Arlong's crew, and it's like, dog, the detail, dude. One of these days, I'm gonna sit down and real deal just look at the different cameos, like I did for the Zoro one, and just these little scenes with Bellamere and Nami, and with Arlong and Nami. I was just thinking, with all the papers going to her, of course, because we know what her dream is, and representation of Arlong Park there. The king, bro. Luffy putting the hat on her head, yeah. And not only that, but right here at the end, you have Luffy going over there with Usopp, and in the background, you have Zoro about to mock Sanji, dog. I mean, it's like, it's amazing to me, bro. It's amazing the amount of detail that they put into these commercials, man. But yeah, dude, amazing stuff. Truly another wonderful Hungry Days commercial. Flipping Flagnards, bro. I mean, it's incredible. Like, bro, even the small stuff. You have Suru driving the dang bus that she misses. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing the amount of detail that they put into this stuff, man. Like, I'm honestly, not only am I impressed, I'm glad that something like this is in the hands of people who you can truly care, that you can truly tell care about One Piece, man. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'm so happy that they were the ones to do it, bro. I could be here all day talking about this, dog. It's so amazing that I feel like the Hungry Days commercials deserve episodes of Recon's Pieces, like, just on their own, man. It's fantastic. But yeah, man, I can't wait for the next one. I really hope that they continue on to make these, and then in the near future we'll be able to get one for whoever's next. I'm going to assume if they're going to stay with the OG squad for right now, it's going to be Sanji Usopp. Is going to be the next one. And I think they're going to save Luffy for last, which is going to be, that one right there is going to be powerful, bro. It's going to be super powerful. But I'm going to assume either Sanji or Usopp's going to be next, and that's going to be fun. Deciding on which, well, it doesn't even matter at this point. With the quality that they've been doing, they could do any of the strides. And I think all of the commercials are going to end up being on the same level of quality we've seen for the last two. Amazing stuff. It's like just how they can do like their iconic moments and scenes in a different way, with the retelling the moment in Baratier with Zoro, and now in Arlong Park with Nami, and just the build up to that. And it's amazing. I'm really bad at summarizing, so when I see incredible stuff like this, it can invoke emotion out of you in 30 seconds. It's some powerful stuff, man, and it shows me that something like that can be done, and a powerful story can be told in 30 seconds or less. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I love those Hungry Days commercials so much, man. Aside from having the gorgeous animation and the incredible bump of chicken music hitting in the background with our beloved cast in a different way, man. And the One Piece slice of life, bro, it's the one that we need. It's not the one that, it's the one that I want and the one that I need, man. So if they ever decide to make a full-on anime out of that, I'm in the like somewhere, bro. I'm in the like somewhere. But yeah, I had to start off the show talking about that, bro, because it's Hungry Days Cup Noodle, man. It's Hungry Days Cup Flippy Noodle, dog. Absolute greatness. But yeah, going back to talking about Stampede for a sec, it is a confirmation, or not a confirmation, but it is a rumor that is going. It's like a half confirmation, half rumor, because we've seen One Piece Stampede, or like One Piece Film Gold, or just like a whole bunch of standalone titles for a certain time slot on October 24th, coming from AMC. And people are assuming that One Piece Stampede is going to be released on that day, which is going to be awesome because that's my birthday weekend, so I would definitely love for that to be the case, But if that is to be the case, because I heard another rumor saying we're going to get the Japanese sub version on the 24th and the dub version on the 26th, because I was wondering what they were going to do, because we haven't had a trailer in the dub, and from what I've seen, and then we definitely haven't had a cast list or anything for the dub either. So I'm curious on how they're going to handle that entire thing. Funimation, or the dudes over there, even though they haven't released season 10 yet, they've been putting in work when it comes to like releasing specials. There's been so many specials that have come out this year, and there's specials that are still that are still to be released, such as the episode of Skypiea that's coming in November, and then we have the episode of Beast Blue coming out later on this month. So they've been working really, really hard in the studio, and now that we've, it's not a confirmation, but it is a massive rumor that is almost confirmed that there's gonna be a dub for this movie as well whenever it gets released in theaters. So Funimation is putting work on it for One Piece, and I'd most certainly appreciate that. So if that is to be the case, though, and we do get Stampede here on the 24th and on the 26th, that's very, very exciting. That is extremely exciting, man, and it's something that I really, really hope we take and a lot of people go, so that they can see that there is demand for One Piece in the United States, and it will thus cause for whenever future movies come out or future things come out for One Piece in the future, there will be a much wider release, more marketing towards it, because that will get more fans into the series and all that stuff. So I really do hope that it goes well, that this release goes well if they decide to do like a mass release for Stampede, which they should take advantage of the current hype going around the product to give it to us, because it is the 20th anniversary film, you know what I'm saying, and it's coming out that same week for us, the 20th anniversary of the series. So that week is going to be a very busy week for me, and if it does come out, because I'm going to have the The Romance Dawn special they're going to be doing in October, that Japan's doing for the anniversary of the anime, and then I'm gonna have that movie, and I think both of them come out that same week, man. So there's gonna be that week's gonna be a really fun week for the Recon's piece, and I really do hope that's to be the case. Like I said, it's gonna cost her a wonderful birthday week, man. Extremely wonderful birthday week. But yeah, that's the latest when it comes to Stampede. For the latest on Part Warriors 4, I just recently reacted to the Wano trailer, and in the Wano trailer, it was showcasing an anime original story that we had with the characters in Wano. It looks like it's going to maintain that vibe in the music. We got to see a couple of the places like Kuri, Amigasa Village. We got to see Bakura Town. We got to see the Flower Capital. We got to see Orochi's Castle. So it was interesting just being able to look at those in-game form and how they actually managed to maintain the colors for certain parts of the places as well. But what caught me off guard in the trailer was that they were not in their Wano outfits whenever they were in combat. Now, in the demo that they released, there was a 12-minute demo that was recently put on YouTube that I had the privilege to watch early this morning. That was Ichiji gameplay. Ichiji from the Vince Smoke family is confirmed in the game. There was around 12 minutes of gameplay from him inside of Wano. But what was interesting about that trailer is that we got to see Ichiji going in against individuals with swords. That they looked like Wano soldiers. They looked like individuals that like the same type of people that were taking on Zoro from the Magistrate back in the beginning of Wano. Those that type of garment, with the hat, the classic outfit with the blade. You had a lot of those type of individuals just copied and scattered all around. And Ichiji was sticking out a lot of those dudes. We even had X Drake and whatnot within the gameplay, which he looks like a lot of fun, by the way. But the characters that you could choose from the demo were Luffy, Zoro, Carrot, Aokiji, and Ichiji. It's a very weird 5 to show off. I'm going to assume it's because they're all very unique in terms of their gameplay. But I was wondering why Aokiji, if we haven't seen him in so long, which is definitely a character I hope we get to see in Wano. But Ichiji, I was like, yo, that's super weird. Like, yo, Aokiji and Ichiji. I mean, I understand Ichiji because they want to show off new characters that have never been in a Part Warriors game before, but Aokiji's been in a Part Warriors game before. Carrot hasn't, and I'm surprised that we didn't get to see some more Carrot action. Like, I would love to see Sulong and Carrot. But hey, I'll take the Ichiji gameplay, man. Ichiji looks fresh. He looks like a lot of fun at the end. And because they have him and they have Reiju, I'm going to assume, of course, they're going to have the rest of the Vince Smoke family. So that's going to be a lot of fun to be able to play as those characters. I'm looking forward to using those in the free log and whatnot. But going back to my main gripe with the original trailer, I really do hope that they have their Wano outfits, at the very least when it comes to the Straw Hats. Because I love their Wano outfits so much, and for them to have their Wano outfits within the Wano original story. Because I know it's going to be an original story, so they don't have to have the outfits. But I think it would be a nice touch to at the very least be able to use the outfits in like a free log or a dream log or something. Because those outfits are awesome, man. And to be able to play in those outfits is going to make the game, it's going to make it a much better experience for me. I mean, that's my favorite thing. That's one of my favorite things about the Power Warriors games is the different outfits that you can give to certain characters whenever you use them. That's a big one for me. Not even just for Power Warriors games, just for games in general. Being able to choose from different designs, so you don't get bored. Skin. That's why skins are such a popular thing nowadays, and that's why people are willing to pay money. And I'm one of those people. I'm willing to pay money for downloadable content if it's good. Good downloadable content with nice skins that I can actually apply to my characters. I'm all for it. And I really do hope that Wano, the Wano outfits, if they don't end up being within the core game whenever it comes out, at least give me DLC so that I can use, the Wano outfits. But we'll see what happens there. But overall, the gameplay looks solid. I'm looking forward to actually seeing some more gameplay coming from certain other characters. Because Ichiji, we've mainly seen gameplay from Luffy and Ichiji. Those are the big 2 demos that I saw, and those are 2 very fast characters. Luffy fights very quickly, especially whenever he's in combos. Like Luffy's a very very fast character when it comes to delivering, going from combo to combo to combo. Same thing with Ichiji, from what I could tell in that trailer. So I'm looking forward to seeing a character that is more like a moderately paced character when it comes to his combos, and a slower paced character when it comes to their combos, just to see how the game is going to play at different speeds, depending on different characters. Because a slower character like Blackbeard is going to have to be played differently than a character like Luffy or Ichiji. And then like a moderately like Aokiji is like he's not as fast as Luffy and Ichiji when it comes to doing combos, but because of his range, it feels like it's that fast. So there's different play styles. So I'm looking forward to seeing more gameplay from other characters. But it's still very very interesting to me that they decided to put Aokiji in there. I'm like, yo, Aokiji? Like, we haven't heard anything from Aokiji since Dressrosa. So that one caught me off guard. But regardless, that's the latest in Part Warriors 4. And I'm looking forward to seeing more. And hopefully we do get more later on the line. I'm surprised we got that much at Tokyo Game Show. It was great being able just to see all that. But without further ado, man, let's get right into the top 10 poll results, man. First of all, I want to thank everyone for participating, because there was a lot of votes submitted, like I said earlier. Over 200 plus episodes were submitted, man. That's a testament to One Piece's greatness, bro. 200 plus episodes in a 900 episode series that some people even voted for filler episodes, man. And I can't blame them, because those filler episodes are godly, in the G8 arc. But some people even voted for filler episodes, man. That is how incredible so many different episodes are, and how they impact different individuals. And it was beautiful, man, just being able to see all these different episodes that impacted so many different people. Because it was almost always, on so many lists I saw, 5 episodes that just universally hit us all, right? And the other 5 were the other 5 or 4 or 3 were episodes that just impact you personally. And I feel like that is my favorite thing about going through top 10s. The top 10s solidify the truly GOAT episodes, but they also show off the other episodes that impact people differently than others. Because there was one episode that I only saw a few people pick, and I think that's my favorite episode of One Piece. And I'm looking forward to talking about that episode. Like, I'm still thinking about my list, and I'm still creating it. I'll be doing that in my own personal top 10 in the future, here in the near future. But a small example like that is something that I feel like is really, really cool when it comes to a series like this. Because normally, whenever somebody gets spoiled, like I had this conversation with Uzumaki Khan whenever he got spoiled on, I think it was Whitebeard, or whoever it was. I think it was Whitebeard, and he wanted to quit doing reactions. And I told him that One Piece is more than just a spoiler. Like, even within that very same episode, with a character dying, there's still other moments within that episode, within that chapter, that make the experience worth it, man. There's no singular moment or no singular episode that can get spoiled for you that would ruin the journey of One Piece, because it isn't about those moments. It really is about the entire experience. And I feel like that runs true for One Piece more so than a lot of other series, because of the amount of content that Oda puts into into his chapters. Like for me, just recently, I got spoiled on a chapter, on just one thing in a chapter, and yet so many of the things were so GOAT in that chapter, I forgot I got spoiled. And by the time I reached the final page, I was like, oh snap, that's what I got spoiled on. But it didn't even matter. I was like, yeah, it was still fire. And I feel like that's what makes the series so special, and that was solidified with me while looking at your answers for this top 10 episodes list, man. So once again, thank you so much for voting. And I just noticed I had my headphones on this entire time. But see, that's Hungry. That's what the Hungry Days commercial does. But you can't blame me, man. That Hungry Days commercial is too gold, bro. I want to rewatch it again. Man. It's too legendary, dog. This is Nami, dog. Ah, man. But let's get right into this episode's poll results, bro. Coming in number 10. This episode right here is very, very special to me, mainly because it holds so many memories. Because God, man. I just remember coming home from school on so many different occasions, going over to my friend Josh's house, and we would just sit down and watch this episode so many times on end. We used to call it the colors, because back in those days, we didn't have like Crunchyroll or any of these like official sites. We had to watch it through Kaizoku fan subs, which those guys are the goats. And in those fan subs, the attacks would be in color. There was one particular episode that didn't stay as just one color, because you remember whenever Gear Second came out, Luffy's attacks went from green text to red text, and there was one episode where it just came out in rainbow colors, because that's the intensity and impact behind that attack. And if you watch the Kaizoku fan subs, you know exactly what number 10 is, man. Coming in at number 10 is episode 309 with 127 votes. Episode 309 is, of course, the finale and the climax of Monkey D. Luffy and Robert D. Lucci, bro. Truly one of the most incredible episodes that wraps up a battle, that wraps up a fight. And One Piece has a lot of really good ones. You know, episode 126, with Luffy versus Crocodile, with some incredible music playing in the background of us, music that only plays within that scene, man. You know, episode I think is 192, whenever Luffy's fighting Anel. I mean, the final episodes of like grand battles with Luffy and whoever it is that he's fighting are usually very well done in the anime. And this is one of those episodes. Episode 309 is a masterpiece, man. It does so many things right, and it hits on so many different emotions. It captures the magic of the manga of volume 44 so well within this episode. And the voice acting, the music cues. I mean, some of those music cues are top tier. When Usopp is yelling out to Luffy, and everything just stops, and like you get a little bit of an insight as he continues to yell this promo out to him. He starts yelling out to Lucci. And bro, whenever Lucci turns around and he sees Luffy there standing up, bro, it gives me chills every time because of the music cue. It's so nasty. And there's just one scene in the episode too, bro. Whenever you have like the camera facing this way and Luffy is entering Gear Second for the last time, you're like, yeah, it's nasty. It's nasty, man. And then just the incredible drama too, man. When Lucci hits that, he hit two Grand King Rokugans. I mean, massive. I mean, he grabbed him with his tail, and with the Rokugan that was so strong that the energy went back toward the wall on some real hockey stuff, and I mean, it was impacting the wall. That's how bad Luffy got hit, but he promised really he was not gonna go back down again. And my man's stopped right before he went, right after the Rokugan, stops right before his back hits the floor, lets out a yell of legend. He starts thinking back and flashing back to all the events in Water 7, Robin and everything. The music goes in, and he releases the legendary Gomu Gomu no Jet Gatling. And in the Kaizoku fan subs, it was in rainbow colors just flashing on screen. Gatling! And that moment will always be legendary to me, man. Always. The intensity, the voice acting, and right after Lucci gets sent flying, and you finally, you're like, yo, we finally saved her, dog. And the tears come down, bro. Everyone's looking down. Oh, Lucci's been defeated. And then you have Robin, and then you hear the music. Dun, 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 dun. Yo, man, and then Luffy lets out the Robin. And Robin starts crying, bro. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Episode 309, most certainly worthy of being a top 10 episode in this series. Comes in at number 10 with 127 votes, man. Absolute greatness. Now coming in at number 9, this is an episode for me that I will always adore, and I feel like because I'm in the manga community, in the One Piece manga community in particular, it means a lot to me as well for a different reason. You know, this chapter is most certainly in my top 10 favorite chapters list, and it's something that once you first witness it, you just never forget it, man. It's definitely a scene that I look back on a lot and I rewatch a lot, man. Coming in number 9 is episode 485 with 131 votes, man. This, of course, is the legendary Whitebeard's death episode. And there's so many great little key scenes within this episode. But the main scene that we always talk about and look back on whenever we think about this is like the final half of the episode whenever we come back from the commercial break, when Whitebeard is giving his final words before, of course, dying. And it's just the way that Toei handles it in such a magnificent way, giving us that flashback between Roger and Whitebeard, which is still one of my... I mean, any Roger scene is rewatched. I rewatch any Roger scene a lot. But that one in particular has always been one that just sticks out to me because it's Roger and Whitebeard. It's Roger and Whitebeard, bro. Having a conversation about the will of D towards the end of it. Before that's just a casual conversation between two friends, bro. Just having a drink, and it's Roger and Whitebeard in their prime. And you have the Sakura cherry blossoms falling from behind, which of course we can speculate now that it could have been Wano. Very well could be. But just the legends having a conversation, then it flashes back to the present. You see Whitebeard, man, and he tells Blackbeard that, you know, he's not the man that Roger is waiting for. He starts talking about this war that's going to envelop the entire world, and that's not what that's not what Sengoku and the rest of them want, yo. And he finally lets out the words. So now, whenever that treasure is found, man, it's going to turn everything in the entire world upside down, dog. One Piece wa Jitsu Zai Suru. Shout out to King of Lightning, man. Shout out to King of Lightning. And then, of course, so the narrator comes in at the end and talks about all the stats and just how much Whitebeard went through within the war. And within all of that, he never received even one scar on his back, indicating that he never ran away. I mean, it's truly one of the most incredible episodes. An episode that they absolutely nailed. One of the most incredible and most beast deaths I have ever witnessed in any medium. And Toei nailed it, man. They absolutely nailed it. This was a moment that I witnessed first in the manga, but just seeing it adapted and to perfection as well, man. I mean, of course, they because of the time slot, they weren't able to show the extent, and they still showed a lot, even with the time slot. I mean, with the hole in Whitebeard's chest and everything, but, you know, censoring a little bit when it comes to half of his head being taken off by a Kainu, but even with all that, it didn't even matter. I mean, the emotional impact was there. And just a scene that I still watch to this day. It's a scene that has some incredible, or it's an episode that has incredible music cues. It's an episode that has some phenomenal pacing when it comes to the way that certain moments are just feel extremely important. And episode 485 is definitely deserving of a top 10 spot, man. I mean, it's Whitebeard's death, bro. It's one of the most epic moments in the entire series, and it most certainly is deserving of a top 10 spot, man. So coming in right here next at number 8 is an episode that came out just recently, man. And I remember when this episode came out, everyone was hyping it up as it being one of the best episodes in the entire series, and some people say that it is the best episode in the entire series from strictly an animation standpoint, man. Coming in number 8 is episode 870 with 144 votes. This, of course, is Snake Man Luffy's reveal, or Luffy's Snake Man form reveal up against Katakuri. This episode is a very interesting one because I feel like because of the way that this episode was done, it kind of makes me wonder how Toei, if Toei actually decided to or not even decided, because they definitely put a lot of time and effort into the series, right? But there's just certain times whenever the pre-production is what fails them, you know, where it just feels like they don't have enough, or at least back then, during certain portions, especially post time skip, where the pre-production you could just tell was not there, like that the planning was the thing that was off, especially whenever a movie comes out. Whenever a movie was coming out, the anime was suffering. And I'm glad that that's definitely not the case here with with Stampede coming out. Kind of feels like the opposite, honestly. But especially during that time, the pre-production was what was really killing the series. And it feels like in Whole Cake that changed to where like every episode it felt like there was so much care put into it, but not only just care, because I feel like care is put into almost every episode, but the pre-production in terms of putting certain people in the right places and giving them the time to do what they need to do and not rushing them based on the schedule at hand of let's just say certain animators having to work here on this scene in this episode and having to work in a movie or here on the side or a special, whatever the case may be. Nah, man. Here with episode 870, you're able to see the true effort and the true extent of the talent and the skill of so many individuals that work at Toei, man. And it was magnificent, bro. I mean, so many incredible shots. It is one of the most well done sequences from a fighting standpoint in the entire series. So many cool shots, so many cool moments. There's one particular shot of whenever Snake Man Luffy is just jetting in front of Katakuri. And Katakuri is sitting there about to take it. And you just see Luffy coming up in like somewhere. And you can just feel the force behind his speed as he goes up in there. Whenever Katakuri gets finished, pulverizing him to the ground, he comes back up and you see the red eyes, dog. I mean, that panel was incredible in the manga, but the anime nailed it, bro. And then you have the Rayleigh stuff that was not in the manga. You have the Rayleigh flashback with whenever Luffy was training in Gear 4th. At the beginning of the episode, and then towards the end of the episode, whenever he started thinking about Roger, I was like, "Yeah, what is this?" But just overall, a really well done episode. It did great also for really showing how equal that battle was between Luffy and Katakuri. Because after that episode, I remember a lot of people saying that, man, Katakuri should have won. And then you had the other side of the community saying, "By God, because of just the way that that Snake Man works." And because of the extent that we saw within that, because whenever he was using moves like the Black Mamba, for example, in the anime, you were able to see just how dangerous that attack is, man. Coming from so many different directions, and in the manner that it does it, bro. The Gomu Gomu no Kobe Bryant. And then at the end of the episode, of course, whenever they clash and whatnot, it was just done so well. There was so many amazing sequences, so many great shots, and they really, really went all in, man. They really went in, bro. They really went in, man. But, and I think this stands for this list, and it also stands for me personally. I don't think that's the best episode in Whole Cake, bro. That's just that's just for me. I think it's the second. I really do. I think it'd be a second. Because right after that, man, coming in number 7, and it seems that y'all feel this way as well. This right here is not only my favorite episode in Whole Cake, but this might be one of my favorite episodes in the entire series. We're gonna, whenever I do my own personal list, I expect this one to be really, really high. Coming in number 7, man, is episode 877 with 156 votes. This episode this series has a lot of wonderful final episodes for an arc, but they nailed this episode, man. They were on a roll with amazing episodes in Whole Cake. I mean, there was a lot of phenomenal episodes there, especially the entire arc. The entire arc just had so many great episodes. But this one stands above them all, man. It does, because it just captured the magic so well of chapter 902. And it did so from an audio standpoint, man. The sound direction in this episode is why I love this episode so much. That, both the Soul Pocus, the vocal version, and the instrumental version still stick with me to this day. When I think about Whole Cake, I think of Soul Pocus. That is how powerful episode 877 is. That is how powerful episode 877 is. Whenever I think about Whole Cake, the first thing that comes into my mind is the instrumental version. Specifically that plays during the Pudding and Sanji sequence within that episode. One of the most emotional, most incredible, most just you couldn't have ended an arc, that arc in whole cake. It could not have had a better ending than that, man. It was just such a well done chapter, and the way, and for me, I can't believe I'm saying this because I'm such a heart of the manga, but I think this was done even better in the anime. That is just how much I love this episode, man. The fact that they were able to do in the beginning of the episode the stuff with Carrot, that junk destroyed me with Pedro, that hurt, man. The way that it was done too was magnificent. The stuff whenever Big Mom is going up against everyone, going up against Jinbei and Aladdin and the Vince Smokes, and you hear the music playing in the background, so focused. And you have the legendary scene with Sanji and Pudding, bro. This still hurts so much to this day, dog. You have Brule and Katakuri with his flashback too, and at the end of the episode with Zeph and Sanji, dog. It is such a wonderful episode. There's so many different amazing and key moments. It just flows so well, and it really, really did that chapter justice, man. It really, really did. Because of all the wonderful and amazing content that came out that year, it didn't end up being my favorite chapter of the year. It was in my top 5 for sure, without question. But I think definitely top 3. I think. But the anime just did such a phenomenal job with that episode. I mean, I don't know if it's because emotional moments tend to hit me harder than other moments. But man, it's the music, dog. I mean, that Soul Pocus theme, because it doesn't play in any other scene in ever, it sticks with me, bro. Like, whenever I think about my favorite OSTs in the series, I think of Soul Pocus. Both the vocal version and instrumental version, it hits home so hard. The vocal version gives me goosebumps, but the instrumental version, it hits me in my feels, dog. It hits me in my emotions. Dun, 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 dun. Bro, every time I go back and rewatch that episode, I cry, bro. The first time I watched it, I held back, and I don't remember if I teared up, but I know my eyes were mad watery, especially during the Sanji and Pudding scene. I rewatched that episode with Khan, and I was bawling. I was legit sitting on that computer right there, bawling my eyes out, bro. I'm telling you, that episode is absolutely phenomenal, man. Definitely one of my favorites. Definitely one of my favorites, man. Amazing stuff. Episode 877, Soul Pocus Greatness, coming in at number 7 with 156 votes. Coming in number 6. Oh, man, dude, now. Episodes from this arc I'm about to talk about, I'm really biased towards because of just the amount of times that I've rewatched it, but also because of when it is that I caught up, or at the very least whenever I switched over from the anime to the manga, which was right in the middle of Thriller Bark. It was whenever I had to make the switch over to the manga. So stuff pre-Thriller Bark holds a very special place in my heart in the anime, because that's how I originally experienced it. One Piece was the first long series like that I had binged. So it's something that still holds a special place in my heart as a binging experience, because I had never binged anything that long before. Up until then, I'd mainly been watching stuff on television. So a lot of that early stuff still hold really high in the anime. I really, really do. It's just the nostalgia. It's powerful, man. It's powerful. And then upon rewatches, I just come to appreciate it so much. But this episode, I don't think it's a nostalgia talking, man. I truly do think the episode I'm about to talk about is an emotional masterpiece from so many different standpoints. But it's an episode that truly represents why it is that we care about these characters so much. And I'm talking about episode 236 with 157 votes, man. Now remember what I just said, 157 votes. Episode 877 had 156 votes. There was a 1 vote difference. So if one of y'all would have voted for 877, it would have been a tie. If somebody wouldn't have voted for 236, it would have gone down, So every vote counted. But episode 236, man. I remember going through One Piece for the first time, and that first stretch in Water 7 from, I would say, episode 229, or in the anime from 227, whenever Aokiji shows up. From episode 227 all the way up until the CP9 reveal. That stretch right there is so phenomenal to me, just because of the way that it was set up for so long, and everything was just popping off back to back to back to back to back to back, and Oda just did it in such a magnificent manner, man. And the anime did a fantastic job of adapting it. They really, really did. Those first couple of episodes in Water 7, I mean, the entire arc in the anime is phenomenal. I think Water 7 as a whole in the anime is one of the best arcs in the anime, without question. And I still feel like that's why I hold Water 7 so high. It's because of the way the anime handled it. And the manga does a fantastic job as well, but like I said, because I experienced it first in the anime, it holds bigger weight there. Before I talk about 236, I feel like I kind of have to talk about 235 and 234. You know, with 234 and the walk to the Frankie house and everything going on there with the build up toward what we're finding out between Usopp's arc, and finishing off that episode with they're going to be taking out the Mary is huge, because it just adds a different level of emotional value to everything that you're seeing, because you're realizing that this could be the very last time that we have all these characters together with the ship that we've been on for so long. Like, there's a change happening in this arc, no matter what we say. But at the same time, because whenever I was first going through the arc, I was like, there has to be some sort of way that we can save Mary, right? So go into the next episode, and episode 235 has one of the most incredible color palettes I have ever seen for an anime episode. And that's whenever they're inside of the Sunny, or inside of the Mary, and Luffy and Usopp have that argument. And it's just one of those moments where for like 10 minutes you forget everything around you. And I usually get very immersed whenever I watch One Piece, but there's certain key moments to where you literally forget you're a human being. That you're so invested in the show that there's nothing else that exists. And episode 235 and 236 are examples of that. Never in a million years, when I would have started the series, would I have imagined Luffy would have fought Usopp. It never crossed my mind. Because of the way things had been going, I always expected things to continue in the way that it had been going, to where, you know, we saw them argue and whatnot, but never to that extent. But what makes that fight so amazing to me, and still one of my favorite scenes and moments in the series, is the way that it was executed. Because you could truly, when you go back and rewatch episode 235, or reread chapter 331, 332, 333 in the manga, you can see it from both sides. You know, you can see it from Usopp's side, and you can see it from Luffy's side. And that's huge. That's huge for a moment like that, and for a situation like that. Because normally in a situation like that, you would be all four in the corner of the protagonist. But in that case, it felt like you were watching a sports anime, because you could 100% see it from both sides. And I feel like that's why I said that the beginning of this arc is so key and integral and important. Because we had been seeing Usopp struggle in this arc up until that point. And not only that, and that's not even counting the build-up throughout the entire series, just within the arc itself. Seeing the struggle he'd been going through, losing the money to Frankie, feeling so useless, feeling like he can't contribute anything. The apology to Nami, whenever he got wrecked, and then of course the argument that they have whenever it comes to just the Mary. You know, Luffy's the captain, his final word to say, but Usopp's saying no. You know, and episode 236 takes all the drama and the emotional investment that you have in 235 and just triples it, man. Because any time that I think about Mother C, the soundtrack, I think of an episode that is later on this list, and this episode. Right before the commercial break, there's a scene, and this to me is the perfect representation of this episode. Luffy and Usopp are fighting, and they both end up lying down on the floor. And you hear Mother C playing in the background. And right before you cut to commercial, you see them married because it's raining. Or it's not raining, but the water is splashing and it appears like rain, and it hits the Mary. And whenever it hits the Mary, it looks like tears are coming down. And that's what Mother C is playing, man. And it's one of the most powerful scenes, bro, because that's the fight. Like they're fighting over the ship, but the ship doesn't want them to fight, dog. And man, dude, I mean, it hurts. It hurts whenever you're watching it, especially because of the way that Luffy and Usopp are. And whenever they hit you with the flashbacks, because you know how they are. They're best friends, bro. They're trolling. It's like everything comes back into your mind. Like you wish it would go back to those times where they were just trolling. And you're like, yo, what in the flying flag is going on? Up until that point, we had never seen anything like that in the series. It just felt so dark. It felt like, is this even One Piece anymore? But at the same time, it didn't take it too far beyond that. It still felt like the series. And it's just the way that Luffy's demeanor was, the way that Usopp's demeanor was, it was perfect, man. And then it continues on. You get to see the type of battles they do against each other, and Luffy finally delivers that last attack. Takes the hat, and then you have one of the most incredible flipping scenes in the entire series. Whenever Luffy's telling Zoro, bro, that it's heavy, that it hurts. And Zoro's telling him that, yo, that's the will of a captain, dog. Like, it gives me chills just talking about it, bro. And you flash to every single character. You flash to Usopp, who's crying, Luffy, who's crying, the Mary, Nami, Chopper, Sanji, dog. And you're like, bro. I mean, it won't be changed forever after that, man. Won't be changed forever. Up until that point, One Piece was already my favorite. But after that episode, I was like, dog, this is insane, man. I have gone through so many different One Piece journeys with so many different people, but this one, like 95% of the time, like makes people a tard. It really does. This one in an episode in a couple episodes later on the list, but this one, it just hits home because of the context and because of what we had seen up until that point in time. It's an episode like that which is why I'm so against people skipping arcs. Because whenever you actually see the journey up until episode 236 becomes a masterpiece. And I mean, that's why I feel like it deserves a spot in this list. And I'm looking forward to go more in depth with that whenever I make my own list, because that's for damn sure on mine. But so then coming in is another one that's on my list. and this one's a special one, man. This one is definitely a special one. I was just talking about this one the other day. I'll always have love for this episode, man. Hungry Days just made a commercial out of it, bro. Coming in number 5 is episode 37 with 167 votes. What more needs to be said aside from this is the episode? If it wasn't for this episode, I wouldn't be sitting here today, man. It is, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you wouldn't be here either. It is universally considered one of the most impactful and incredible moments in the entire series, and the moment that got so many people into the series. And I'm one of those people. You know, as much as I had been enjoying One Piece up until that point in time, and even like by Kuro and Baratier, I was already really invested. But up until Arlong Park, I had never really witnessed anything like that before, man. You know, I had witnessed big battle arcs. I had witnessed arcs like the Soul Society arc, which was an emotional roller coaster, but it was like this massive scale battle. You had a battle taking place in the Dark Tournament. You know, you had battles taking place in Naruto with the Chunin exams and all that stuff. You had stuff in Dragon Ball with like the Cell Saga, Frieza, whatever the case may be. You know, and I'd watched all the series on television, but this was the first time that I had ever watched something that took the feel of a large-scale battle and put it into one small village, and then took the emotional distress between the characters that we know and amplified the drama tenfold to where it felt like something much grander than it is. I mean, this is just a battle for one person's village. Or I shouldn't say that because it's a lot of people's village, but for somebody that we care about, that we've known for a long time, it's just one individual's village. And it took that sense of scale and made it feel so grand. Oda made that arc feel so huge and yet so important for every single individual character that was introduced in that arc. Not only that, or I shouldn't even say introduced, every character that participated in that arc. And it was an amazing culmination of everything that we had seen up until that point in time in the East Blue Saga. And when I watched Arlong Park for the first time, I finally realized what are my favorite types of stories. And those are the type of stories that are character driven, because this arc would be absolutely nothing without the phenomenal characters that drive it, bro. Make no mistake about that. Make no mistake about that, man. I know y'all know this, but I'm just letting y'all know again, dog. This arc is a masterpiece. Arlong Park is a masterpiece. And episode 37 is the incredible middle of the arc episode that is just, it's amazing. It's amazing. I talked about it the other day in length in a Recon piece in of itself, but it truly is a testament to how amazing One Piece is, and truly one of the most emotional and incredible episodes in the entire series. I don't know what else to say, man. I don't know what else to say that I haven't already said already. It'll forever be one of my favorite episodes ever. Man, episode 37 truly now today and forever will be one of my favorite episodes in anything ever, man. I owe so much to that episode, man. Phenomenal stuff. And here we go on to the next one, man. Now this one's interesting because for a long time this was my favorite episode in the series. But upon like a lot of thinking, I think another episode edges it out. Maybe two, right? Because there's... Making this list is hard because there's so many different factors that I have to factor in when it comes to like a favorite. But for a long time, this was my favorite episode, man. And I'll explain why here in a sec. Coming in at number 4 is episode 312 with 172 votes. Episode 312, of course, is The Goodbye to the Going Merry. Now, my favorite thing about this episode, and the thing that makes this episode stick out so much to me, it always has, and it probably always will, is that no matter how many times I watch this episode, it never fails to get to me, man. It never fails. This was the first time that I legit 100% couldn't hold back any tears. Any, man. I remember going through this, and when I finished this episode, I mean, I didn't even know what to do, bro. I felt like I had lost a family member. Legit, I was so hurt by the fact that the Mary was gone, bro. And no matter how many times that I've watched this, and I always come with the same feeling, like, Mary, bro. The way that it's executed in the anime especially, man. I mean, no, the manga does a phenomenal job too. It's following Snow Reminiscence greatness. But the anime just does such a phenomenal job of implementing the soundtracks with Dear Friends and with Mother C playing. And then you have the incredible voice acting from the Mary, yo. You have Luffy yelling at Mary saying, yo, like, I'm sorry that there's that Usopp and Sanji and Zoro are such idiots and they continue to wreck you, dog. Like, oh, I'm sorry. And like, we're the ones that we should be apologizing, and you have everyone crying, bro. And it's like, you have the build-up from the entire arc up until this point. All the things they said, bro. And then you had episode 310, which is another tearjerker, man. When everyone hears the Mary's voice, and they're like, yo, what is that? And then 311, whenever they all jump on the Mary, like, yo, it's actually taking us here. And then 312, you find out that it was his final journey, bro. And it's like, you just think back to everything that took place in the Water Serenity Lobby saga, and it was the best way to end that arc, man. It really, really was, dude. Because it showcased that even though they did manage to do the impossible and defeat CP9 and manage to get back Robin and get back Usopp, but at the end of the day, the Mary's days were numbered, man. But even then, the Mary went out like a boss, and they gave her a Viking funeral. And that Viking funeral was one of the most emotional moments I have ever seen across anything, dude. It never fails to get to me, man. It's just the way that it's executed. It's the way that it's executed, man. I mean, with the, and it's like when I talk about it, it feels so dumb and silly. Like a talking boat, yo. But because of the context, and because of like how invested you are in the story, you forget about all of that, bro, and the tears just start falling. Like, damn it, it's the Mary, it's the Mary, and it's like flipping flag darts, man. Forever one of my favorite episodes. Well, I can't even say that because the One Piece is going in so hard right now that I don't even know what's going to be my top 10 in like 5 years, right, or something. But what I can tell you is that right now, for the past, since I first got into the series and watched that episode, it has always been one of my top 3 favorite episodes, man. And that's episode 312, bro. Just incredible. From a visual and audio standpoint, man. There's something that a lot of these episodes have in common. Is great direction in both those fields, man. Amazing stuff, bro. Amazing stuff. And then coming in number 3 with 181 votes is episode 377, bro. Nothing flipping happened. What I find interesting about this episode is that it's an episode that actually, as a whole, is just so well done. You go back and you watch episode 377, and it has consistently amazing quality from an animation standpoint all the way through, from the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode. But you know why we're here. You know why this episode was chosen. This is the top tier premier Roronoa Zoro moment, man. This was the moment that solidified Zoro as an absolute legend in a lot of our eyes, man. Because he was already a boss. He was already a beast. He was already a character that we looked at as like, yo, he's that dude. You know what I'm saying? But seeing this character that works so much toward his dream, put it all aside. Put it all aside for the sake of someone else's dream, in order to keep their dream alive, willing to sacrifice themselves, put their dream second for his friend, bro, for his captain's dream. And it's just seeing Zoro struggle against Kuma and all the attacks that he wanted to hit him with. And the fact that he knocked Sanji out so that he wouldn't have to go through it. And it's the manner that it's done, man. The music cues in the anime, the voice acting in both the English and the Japanese version. And of course the incredible and legendary Nothing Happens scene, man. You know, I always wonder how I would feel about this scene if I had watched it first in the anime, because I read it first. Because I read it first, this is one of my most beast and most boss moments of all time. And I remember when I did most emotion moments list a while back, people asked me why wasn't 377 on the list. And I never took 377 to be an emotional moment. Or at least like the Nothing Happens scene is an emotional moment. I can see it. I can see why y'all would think that way, right? Or whoever picked it as like in their emotional moments. I can understand now why. But because I witnessed it first in the manga, it always struck me as being a boss moment rather than an emotional moment. But after thinking about it for a while, after multiple rewatches of this episode, it definitely does strike me as one of those. It can go either way episodes, or both, right? It could be an extremely emotional episode, but also a very boss, beast type of episode. And for me, I definitely feel that way, because what gets me so emotional is the fact that you have this character, like I said before, that has a dream that we see him on screen working towards so much. And the fact that he's willing to put it all away for the sake of his captain. That's some beautiful stuff, dog. That's some extremely beautiful stuff. And the fact that Toei was able to implement it in a way that to this very day, when I think of the very, very strongest OST, the very first thing that comes to my mind is Nothing Happened. Even though I read that scene first in the manga, the very, very strongest is synonymous with Zoro and Nothing Happened. You know how incredible that is? It's testament, man. Sound direction, baby. I'm telling you, sound direction is key, man. But what an incredible moment. What a beautiful moment. You know, Thriller Bark has so many amazing Zoro moments. And seeing it has how now the connections to Thriller Bark and Wano, it is interesting that Oda decided to give Zoro all those amazing moments back then. For, you know, had to have been for a reason, of course. But Nothing Happened still remains, to me at least, one of the best moments in the series. Just singular scenes and moments. One of the best moments in the series. And a moment that you just look back on as like, man, this is why I love One Piece's character moments. Because One Piece's character moments are top tier, dude. And this is one of those top tier moments, man. Magnificent episode, so many great scenes. And the animation, man, just top quality. Towards the latter half of Thriller Bark, there was so many really well done episodes from an animation standpoint. Just from a visual direction type of standpoint, the latter half of Thriller Bark in the anime was going in. It was going in, man. You know, going into Sabaody as well. Just great, great stuff from a visual standpoint. You combine that with great sound direction, you have a wonderful episode. As I continue to say, you know, that's just, it's the common theme. It's the common theme. And another episode that carries the common theme is coming in at number 2 with 204 votes. Episode 405. Now, remember what I just said about 377. Episode 377, to me, like I said, the difference between boss and emotional. Episode 405 to me, in the anime, gave me a completely different feeling than in the manga. When I first read chapters 512 and 513, which is the separation of the Straw Hats, I was filled with so much shock that I wasn't even emotional. I was so dumbfounded. I just continued to turn the pages, and I just could not believe what was going down. It was just shocking. I was so shook that I just remember finishing that chapter and feeling so empty. Like, what did I just read? Like, what in the flying flagners is going on? It is one of the most incredible moments of like a key pivotal moment in time in a series to where you truly have no idea what is going to happen next. And it's hard to pull that off. It's hard to pull it off in a series that has 513 chapters up to that point in time. But this is where the anime differs. The anime carries that shock value, but it makes it so emotional that episode it just makes it a tearjerker, man. And like I said, that's a massive difference. I did not get emotional when I first read that chapter. I was shook. That's how I felt when I read it. The anime, though, with Bink Sake, with the voice acting, no, it's Ball City. It's Ball City. You're crying like a madman, dog. When he's reaching over, Chopper, bro, and in the voice acting when Luffy starts hitting like I couldn't save anyone, dog, and he starts like dragging himself on the ground, he starts hitting his head, he starts punching the ground, dog, he just couldn't do anything. And whenever you hear Luffy's voice actor, like the voice actor is just like giving it her all in that sequence, it's so amazing, man. And there's just dead silence. There's no music. And when the music actually does start playing, bro, when you see the Big Sake and all of his friends, he's like thinking back to his friend. It's such an amazing episode, man. Such an amazing episode. And what I love, that's what I love so much about adaptations. Which is why I love this episode and chapter combo so much. And there's a lot of episodes like this in the series, to where the chapter gave me a different feel than the anime did. Because I love chapters 512 and 513 for a different reason. You know, that's one of the most shocking moments in the history of anything, to me, right? In manga form, but in the anime, it's just emotional, man. It's just emotional. It hurts. It hurts so much, man. because you know how much Luffy wants to stop this. And it's the build-up from the previous episodes. Luffy, of all people, was telling them to run. Luffy doesn't run from anything. Anything! And he knew the situation was drastic. And that is when you knew that this was different. That this was just completely different, man. But when they started getting bopped away one by one, and you hear the bubble sound, and I feel like this episode not only is incredible on first watch, it has incredible replay value as well. Because the amazing conversation between Rayleigh and Kuma is something that I can look back on even today that could have implications to further scenes. Not only just for, of course, the Marineford saga, but scenes that would take place in the Return to Sabaody arc, and maybe even now. It's a very, very highly rewatchable episode in that sense as well. But, you know, it is the true and utter defeat of the Straw Hat Pirates. And the episode does it in such an emotional way that you just never forget how it is that you felt, even as a manga reader when first watching that episode. I mean, it really, really drives home what is actually taking place here. It really, really drives home the fact that they're not going to be together for a while. It really, really drives home the fact that this is it. That this could very well be it, dog. And because of the entire journey up until this point in time, it hurts so much, man. Episode 405, it does something that in a similar way that episode 236 does. That if you wouldn't have been on that journey for 404 episodes, with all the characters, with all the trolling, with all the nonsense, like whenever you go through episode 405, the reason why it's so emotional is because of those trolling moments on the ship. Whenever Luffy's yelling at Usopp, and they're creating stuff and shoving stuff off their nose, and you think back to Chopper with his funny mannerisms. Whenever those three get together, they start trolling with Zoro and Sanji getting mad at each other, with like Nami hitting everyone on the crew, telling everybody to shut up, Robin ignoring everybody and just getting back to her reading or like her dark humor. You know, whenever they're all together on the Mary or on the Sunny. And all those moments just immediately start popping back in your mind, like, dog, you don't want this adventure and journey to end, man. And still to this day, I feel like it is one of the... When I think about certain decisions taken by an author, that it might not seem like a marketable decision, where, you know, the Straw Hats are the big marketing point for One Piece. And the fact that Oda was about to stray away from that for a while... And it's something that is incredible to me because Oda didn't do it just to have shock value. Oda did it because he had a plan. And that plan became one of the most well-respected, well-received, and most loved sagas in the entire series, which is from Sabaody to Return to Sabaody. And for a series that a majority of us that read this series, we love the Straw Hats and we want to be with them so much. But the separation of the crew starting off one of its most beloved sagas is a testament to Oda's writer, man. It is. It's truly inspirational for me who wants to be in this craft too, bro. It really, really is. An amazing episode. The Bank Sake portion and the voice acting, specifically on Luffy's behalf, incredible stuff, man. Just the rage felt within Luffy's voice whenever he gives off that Gomu Gomu no Jetto pistol and Kuma deflects it. I mean, it's just an amazing episode, man. 405 will almost, in a lot of our hearts, even it doesn't matter if you're a manga reader, if you're an anime only, or if you're somebody who witnessed that first in the anime, you never forget the first time you watch episode 405. And I think that is a major thing, which is why I think it's this high, that just sticks with you. You know, because you just never forget it. It's just so insane. You can't believe what's going down. You know what I'm saying? So episode 405 comes in number 2 with 204 votes. And then coming in number 1, which is what I expected this to be number 1, just because this moment has so much value and it means so much to so many of us for different reasons, but it means so much to us. It is arguably the most iconic moment in the entire series, and it is the moment in the series that made so many of us say we're going to stick with this series until the very end. And that is episode 278 with 236 votes. Just to speak to a testament to episode 278, which is the legendary I Want to Live episode. This stuff right here, man. The legendary portion of Benny's Lobby, covered in volume 41, and in season 5, voyage 2, and voyage 1. Episode 278, bro. Like, man, I'll never forget whenever I first got this DVD, and I put it into the family living room flipping DVD set over there. And I watched it because I wanted to re-experience it. I wanted to re-experience how it is that I felt when I first watched it, man. And this is my first time watching it in the dub, right? So I put it in there. I just wanted to see how it was done, but I wanted to feel the very same way that I felt the first time that I watched it. And so I watched it, and I just remember after I finished the episode just being so thankful for the fact that I decided to check out this series, man. And this was removed quite a few years from catching up to the series, because it was me watching in the dub. But I think that's just a testament to this episode. Because this is an episode that upon first watch, or upon first read, if you read it first in the manga with chapter 398, it's that moment. It's the I Want to Live. It's the CP9 Straw Hat standoff. It's finally, after so many episodes of wanting to know Robin's past, you get her past, and you figure out why it is that she acts in the way that she does. But not only that, I get one of the most incredible moments from just a strictly protagonist standpoint, man. When I think about why it is that I love Luffy, 278 comes into my mind all the time. Because Luffy did not need to hear any of that. Luffy didn't even need to hear the flashback. Luffy didn't even find flag north. What I love so much about Luffy is that Luffy told her to make the decision. Luffy's not making the decision. The king said, you make the decision. You tell me that you want me to whoop Lucci, I'm whooping him on the spot, dog. But you gotta make a decision first. Because I'm not making decisions for you. I'm your captain. Because I'm your captain, I'm allowing you the freedom to choose what you want to do. And because Robin felt that within herself, and even though she went throughout all of this to protect the Straw Hats, she's still, within her heart, even though she didn't want to do it, she was like, yo, I want to be with them forever, dog. And she yells out the I want to live, man. And then we get another Goat Luffy moment, where this man proceeds to declare war on the world government, bro. Not giving a flying flag nards in classic Luffy fashion, dog. Sogekingu. Shoot down that flag. Roger. And it's just, man, the incredible, what is the name of the soundtrack that, I'm Here With You Too soundtrack that plays in both episode 274 and episode 278, during the I Want to Live scene. I'm Here With You Too was a phenomenal piece, man. And just the voice acting in both the Japanese and English version when it comes to Robin's I Want to Live. The ride or die attitude when it comes to the Straw Hats, like they're all just waiting for Robin, man. Like they're willing to risk it all and go up in like somewhere they don't care, because Robin is doing all this for them. Robin's like, yo, I want to save them. I'm doing all of this so that they'll be free, but they're over here risking their lives to come save me. Like, I'm worth nothing, dog. Like, why are y'all doing this for me? And Luffy's like, dog, you make the decision. You make the decision. You tell us that you want to live, and dog, I'm gonna smack the flag down on Lucci, bro. We're gonna go up in like swimwear, dog. And I just love how all of them, even the characters that we normally don't see acting in that type of way, we're acting that way. Why? Because Robin was on the line, bro. We're like, yo, we're gonna get her back, dog. We're gonna go in like swimwear. And he's lobby greatness. And he's lobby so goat. But this is that one moment, this is that key moment that whenever somebody's catching up to One Piece, man, I always want them to reach this moment, because to me, once you watch this moment, if you love it, you're in until the end. You know, everyone has that moment for them on a personal level, but I feel like on a universal level for One Piece, this is almost always one of those I'm here until the end moments. To where after you watch the I Want to Live scene, you come to understand and appreciate the relationship and just the way it works with the Straw Hats, Luffy, the rest of the crew, and the how much they're willing to do and how much they're willing to possibly sacrifice for one of their own, while not giving a flying flagness about what anyone else in the world has to say about it, knowing everything that Robin has had to go through, knowing all the baggage she has on her back. They don't give a flying flagness. They're ride or die, bro. They're ride or die. It's so good, yo. Even willing to burn down the world government's flag, knowing what that means, knowing what had taken place before that in Water 7. I love that. I love this arc so much, bro. Because Enies Lobby, it's a yes, it is a conflict that could very well possibly leak out and become a large scale conflict later on down the line, you know, with the Pluton and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's an arc about 4, man. It's an arc about the Mary, Frankie, Robin, and Usopp. And within that, it is also an arc about the Straw Hats. It is an arc about the Straw Hats and their internal conflicts, man. And resolving those conflicts. And it's such an amazing episode, bro. I mean, seriously. There's a reason why whenever I was looking at a lot of the results, this episode was almost always on there. On almost everyone's list. It's universally recognized as that episode, man. It will always be that episode. It's the I Want to Live. It's the Ikitai. And it's one of those, man, where were you when you first watched this moments, man? You know, aside from the DVD, which is whenever I truly came to say, man, dude, like, I'm so thankful I got into this series. Whenever I first watched it in the sub version, I was knee deep into Enies Lobby, where I was already so invested after Gear Second. I love the Gear Second episode so much. That was the one of my first posts. I think that I don't remember if I think it was both, because I think when I printed out that one, whenever I got that one, I got the Ichigo one too, and but the Luffy poster, I love that Gear Second moment so much. I got that poster to put in my room. And then right after that, when I thought that the Gear Second moment was in a row, I was like, flag nards, yo. Then we get episode 274, which was the flipping walk after the standoff. And then we had Robin's past. And at the end of that, when we finally realized, man, then you get this wonderful episode, which feels like just everything that had been built up and pent up for so long. And in just a span of 24 minutes, everything just changes. And you're like, yo, Oda! Amazing, man. Enies Lobby greatness, episode 278, definitely worthy of a number 1 episode in the series. I love both the episode and the chapter, I think almost equally. They're just both so incredible. And both things that always have a special place in my heart. I love Water 7 Enies Lobby, man. I still do to this day. Maybe it is because it's the last arc that I watched in the anime before switching over, but I still do think even if I would have caught up yesterday with like if I caught up while watching Wano or something and I binged all that, I still think the Water 7 Enies Lobby was to be really high to me, because that's just how much of an impact it had on me personally, man. And I'll talk more about that, I guess, later on down the line, and whenever I make my own top 10 favorite episodes list. But yeah, man, One Piece greatness. That's what needs to be said, bro. One Piece greatness. Thank y'all so much for voting. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and for being a part of this 900 episode special I decided to do here on the channel. It was a lot of fun being able to look back and talk about some of the most awesome episodes in the series. There's so many other awesome episodes that we didn't even get a chance to talk about, man. And I thank anybody who stayed this far in the video. I truly do appreciate it, as always. But I hope everybody has a blessed day and or night, man, whenever you're watching this. I hope everybody's going in there like somewhere, having an awesome one, man. And we'll see what happens here in the near future in the One Piece greatness, man. Look forward to some more One Piece here and then on the channel. I definitely want to talk about certain other things. I really want to talk about the latest chapter, and I want to talk about Act 2 as well. So whenever I get around to that, I'll definitely be coming back on here to talk about that, man. But until then, I hope everybody has an awesome day. Take care. One Piece greatness. This has been the Recon's Piece. You'll have a good one, and I'll see you on the comment section, man. Peace out, y'all.